So, what's better than one Seeker? Well, how about a twin pack of Seekers? What's good, YouTube land? I finally got my hands on it. This is the first of two currently announced 2 packs of Voyager Starscream repaints. The other one's coming out in October, which I do have a pre-order on, unless you're in America, which they've already come out. And occasionally they fuck up the box by just not putting an actual shipping box around it. But this one, it's Thundercracker and Skywarp, which has finally showed up over here. Because I look at those eBay prices and oh boy, because due to the whole COVID thing, there's an extra surcharge on things coming from the United States. So it's not just that they're charging the overcharge on eBay. There are additional costs. But I finally found them in a Toys R Us for retail price, and I'm happy. So we got Thundercracker here, Skywarp here. They are the Cybertronian villains. Gee, because I wondered what Decepticon means. We also have the Earthrise on the top, that scratching Decepticon insignia with that picture of whoever it is floating in space. Pictures of Thundercracker and Skywarp in their jet modes. The Earthrise picture right here. At the bottom, nothing really much. And on the back, basically the exact same thing. Well, I don't know what I'm saying, the exact same thing. I don't know what I'm comparing it to, but you got product shots. So, open it up. You got 2 guys right there. You got the background. I don't know where my red thing is. Excuse me, you got instructions, which I rarely mention anymore. There it is. What does it say? I don't think it says anything. Because I might as well take it out. Oh, come on. Waste some time. And the only thing it could highlight is right there, which really isn't much. Just a ring of something. I don't know what they're going for. Who cares? Let's talk about the toys. Thundercracker and Skywarp. Yeah. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, might as well mention one on the side, because you totally don't have a million of them just in a pile somewhere in a baggie due to all the Earthrise toys. But let's talk about Thundercracker first. As I mentioned, they're straight repaints of Starscream. No new molding whatsoever. Let's take a look at the head sculpts. I believe they have the same mouth, which makes sense for Thundercracker being the guy who's not really sure if he wants, like, not sure about the cause. Like, from what I read, he's kind of like, it's a weird contradiction, Thundercracker, because it says he's arrogant or despises those who can't fly, and will randomly target them and just attack them. but he's not on board with the Decepticon cause of, like, chaos and whatnot. So he's kind of a contradiction, but yeah, I think Starscream should have a bit more of a cheeky smile on his face because he's, the scheming guy who's always scheming and always thinking something evil. But now we get to see the mold in solid blue, and I do prefer kind of the silver chest plate over the kind of red. Like, I don't. There's something about these two color schemes that appeal to me more than Starscream's uh, majority gray with some red and blue, but because they get black highlights, which black highlights always look good, and the silver, the shininess is always gonna look nicer than dull gray. Besides that, he's got some paint issues, like those little scuffs. Kind of, are they visible on his this piece? They're right there, and along with hilariously an unpainted foot. I I looked at that after I bought it. I'm like, what? Because this was the only one in the store. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that doesn't look right. And on the back, both of them are painted, and everyone else has them painted. So I guess if you're buying this set, be forewarned to look for that kind of thing. But other than that, um, here's a comparison to original Generations Thundercracker. This one's a bit darker blue. This blue, I think, is more Dirge's color. It's a bit brighter blue. There's also some more bits of red on the robot mode on the Generations one, on the old Thrilling 30. No, before it was the Thrilling 30. Jeez, Generations has been going on for so long. The classics, the classics mold, the '06 mold. But other than that, there's unfortunately no red on these bits, which on here, I wish there kind of was a bit more red. There should be some red on the shoulders, but otherwise it's still a well done job. Where's Dirge? Get over here. Who's getting the treatment of this mold as well in that aforementioned second 2-pack? But as you can see, this blue is a similar blue. Actually, it's a bit brighter to the one on Thundercracker, but I don't know. But here he is with Dirge, just because. We're gonna go to Skywarp now. Just talking about two toys. There's something about the all black with the hints of purple that I don't know. I'm like, this color scheme is immediately more interesting to me. Just something about it. I don't know. This combination of black, silver, and purple. I do agree it is a really well done color scheme and looks a hell of a lot better than the Siege one, which was kind of charcoal and like off gray instead of pure silver. This just, it encapsulates Skywarp. I mean, if I knew anything about Skywarp. But as a character, Skywarp's, well, I think he's described best as the guy who would push somebody down the stairs just for fun. I think that's the best way you can describe Skywarp. He's kind of an idiot, but he's also the guy who will just shove somebody down the stairs because he thinks it's funny. And he gets the unique headpiece of ah. What is he screaming at? Let me know in the comments. He's just permanent. Ah! But other than that, that unique part, he's got nothing else really unique about him other than the color scheme that looks amazing. I guess I'll talk about posability on this. Heads on the ball joint, get up and down, get side to side waggle, get the full swivel, shoulders, universal joint, universal hinge, go all the way out both ways until they hit the wings. Part of me wishes these wings actually tabbed in to the back, but that's such a minor nitpick that it's really one of the only nitpicks I can think of with this mold. You do get a bicep swivel. You get, is it beyond 90? I'd call that like maybe 91 degrees of elbow. No wrist, no waist. Hips can go all the way forward, that far. They can go out if you get stuff out of the way, that far. Not quite a full Van Dam. Close enough. 7/8 of a Van Dam, maybe. You do get a thigh swivel. The knees on this guy are a little bit, at least on this one, they're a bit tighter than Thundercrackers. Because especially this one, it likes to untab itself before it goes the full. You kind of have to force the actual, like, I've been finding of my small amount of playtime with them, and you kind of have to, if you want slightly beyond 90 degrees of knee, you kind of have to, like, apply a little bit of, like, direct force on the purple bit. Just so it'll, like, I don't know if this is messing with anything internally, but because otherwise this joint just kind of it separates right there, so you kind of have to. It's not really a major thing, and most likely you're not going to have to deal with that because even Thundercracker's knee, as long as you just hold the knee pad, it goes the full without unpegging. If you just grab it by the shin and pull, it's going to unpeg, but you're probably not going to have to deal with that problem. And everything's tight on both of these guys. Oh, and last up, you do get an ankle tilt and a hinge on both sides of his foot. If you mostly for transformation, but you can make it work for some dynamic posing. Did I mention the thigh swivel? I think I mentioned the thigh swivel, but just in case I didn't, there's a thigh swivel. I don't have classic Skywarp, but here's a comparison to FOC Skywarp with with double miniguns, because I did buy 3 different versions of this mold. And the only other Skywarp I own, if I can pull them out without knocking anything over, is the Combiner Wars remold of Jetfire. But yeah, this color scheme does it all the time. And now we get to transformation, and how many times am I going to do this? Alright, that's just... Oh, another tiny nitpick. The guns, I wish, had a bit more color to them than just cast in their main color. I like that they're purple and blue on Thundercracker, but I kind of wish they had more, like a little bit more color to them. So first up, fold up the ankles, rotate this piece so it's tabbed in right up there. open up the legs, tab the legs together. They will tab together in this mode. Ooh, come on. I've transformed him once. And you can flip that up. Fold the legs in. You got to make sure the joint, the knee joint, is sucked inside as much as it can be, because otherwise it can actually pop out a little bit and hinder the transformation. Fold those, fold that, fold, and fold. You can, at this point, you can put the cockpit on his head and fold out the back. Rotate that up. Come to the arms, take this panel. Boy. Fold it around the joint, fold the hand up, shoulder in, close like that. It's the same thing. The other side. Make sure it wraps around that joint, and the joint, that little piece goes in the hole that the fist makes. Fold like that, and then close it back up. Ugh. On mine, it's a little. The first time it was a bit tighter, it didn't even feel like it was going to go. And then the wings are a bit of a pain, especially this one. Because it really doesn't want to go, and it actually wants to pop out a bit. It's a bit more of a pain going to vehicle mode. The clearances and whatnot. Oh, I'd even mention the wings have a joint. They have multiple joints. But the only one you're going to use in robot mode is probably this one. But there's the jet mode. And boy, does it look good in black. It even blends in the head the best. Because you can kind of barely see that. It's a little bit shinier, but it blends in a hell of a lot better. Now I got to transform Starscream and Thundercracker, which is at the point where I would do a jump cut, but not not with this editing, not with this recording software. Okay, so we're doing this twice. Only I don't really think I need to explain it a second time. Oh my god, tab in. There we go. Do 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 do. Ooh, thinking about Seekers, they've also recently announced, right, like a few days ago, I think, the Generation a G2 Sandstorm as a repaint of the Dirge mold, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it. Oh yeah, one thing I want to note on my Thundercracker, that's a little trickier. The plastic, the clearances or something. That's a little bit more. Takes a bit more effort to actually pop this open. I'm more interested in the G2 Megatron they announced out of the Earthrise mold, because I wasn't gonna buy the Earthrise mold because, well, frankly, it doesn't look different enough from the Siege mold to actually be worthwhile. But I saw that G2 repaint. I'm like, ooh, that might actually be worth it to check out the mold in some interesting colors. Because that G2, that neon green and neon purple. Oh, the clear. Oh, there you go. The clearances, though. So there's Thundercracker. Let's do a quick. Oh God, I don't want to. There, they can sit there. Do a quick classics one. Yeah, because there's, yeah, I guess I'm going full Seekers this time. Because they have yet to announce what wave thrust is going to be. Because they showed off like how long ago? I think probably the first, not the first images of Earthrise that were leaked, but like there were leaked images of like a work in progress thrust, the red cone head, before they ever announced the 2-pack of the Dirge and Ramjet. So like we still have to wait for that. I have the 2-pack on pre-order. I don't know what other secrets they're going to be doing, but oh yeah, I also didn't like the look of Earthrise, not Earth Siege Thundercracker. I thought there was a bit too much blue. I wasn't a bit like I have seen the Siege Thundercracker in shops because the Skywarp was a like an Amazon exclusive or whatever. So like you never really saw it. It wasn't really available retail. There was another Seeker that was like a Hot Links, I think, who was a I don't know if it was Amazon exclusive, but I'd seen him randomly show up in a store once, and I did like the pink, but he's basically Skywarp but black and pink instead of black and purple, I believe. Like I wasn't sold because that mold is frustratingly close to okay. Like kind of lazy transformation, but like decent, actually more than decent looking robot mode, and pretty good, like close to I don't know the best way to describe because I still have that second Siege Starscream sitting over there. I don't know this. I prefer this mold because that mold does some cool stuff, but like the transformation is kind of a killer. It barely classifies as a transformation. Like it's just crumpling a robot and then. Well, would you say this is any different? I'm rambling because well, it's obvious I'm trying to pad for time. Let's put all his guns on him. There we go. Alrighty. We've got everyone that's going to be in their jet mode in their jet mode. Do a comparison. It does look good in blue as well, but uh, there's something about that black that just. And let's put him on top. Compared to kind of boring Starscream. The gray does look rather boring. They do have their Decepticon insignias, I believe, in different places. Oh, well, Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp have them in the same place, which is a different place. Oh, almost. No, never mind. This kind of looks like they're in a different spot, but they're not. But there you go. You get a trio of F-15s. At least I think they're what was it? F-15 Eagle something. It's a beautiful jet. Let's give a straight comparison between Thundercracker and Thundercracker. I still wish this mold had landing gear. They feel about the same, like, they feel the same heavy. And I so wish the Earthrise one benefits from the having the silver striped Decepticon insignia because it'll just pop out so much more than than just the blank one. Although they are robots in disguise, so it would make sense for them to hide their insignia. But yeah. So this is by far from the last video on this mold. These right now available. If you're going for just one, go for Skywarp. I'm gonna be honest. He does look the prettiest. The black and purple. I I don't know how it's won me over so hard. It just looks so good. Like the smooth, the clean blackness. It's hard to explain, really. And just the hilarity of the ah face. Because apparently Earthrise Dirge has the same face, the same mouth expression. So it'll be nice to see it again. But yeah, if you're going for them individually, I think the one I would recommend the most is Skywarp. It's that color scheme, man. Whether you should at least get a version of this mold. It is a really good toy. I could gush about just the. You know what? I have to stop gushing about the color scheme. Do I recommend the 2-pack? If you're willing to spend the money. If not, go for one by itself. Go for Skywarp. I imagine there'll be people that'll be selling them by themselves because they might have just bought the 2-pack for one of the characters. So if you get a chance, go for Skywarp. He's just so much prettier. But yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I don't know who I'm going to display on my shelf now. I'm going to have to figure that out on my own. But until next time, keep it weird. Bye.